So, this is very tasty. Nice legs on it and all that good stuff. Do you know about this particular bourbon? As far as how it's made? Is it a blend?
I don't know enough
blend?
about it to comment on it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're all blends. I mean, this is going to be your base, like on your corn. I don't believe there's any wheat. I don't taste any wheat in this. So this is your basic bourbon, which is the predominant corn. The law is 51%, though most of them do high 60s, low 70s, and the rest is going to be a mixture of rye and barley.
And as far as the tasting notes go, I when I first tasted it, I got a little bit of a fruity kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of went to a leathery caramel thing.
Well, smell it now. I mean, it's been over 10 minutes.
See, I get a fruit. I almost get. It's almost like
it's definitely softer.
I'm getting toffee and coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toffee.
Out of
Absolutely.
that. So your noses are very different than
Yeah.
everybody. Your palates are pretty much the same, but your nose is anybody. I mean, the only difference between a professional and somebody doing it for the first time is experience and vocabulary. Because I always hear, what am I tasting? What am I tasting?
Yeah.
What is this? So I always tell people, go in, try the whiskey yourself, make your own notes, and then go to their site.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to come up with all these different amazing descriptives of their whiskey, both nosing and on tasting side. But then you'll see some things in there. Oh, I get that, I get that, I get that, I get that, I get that.
When you said caramely, I was thinking fruity, but as soon as you said that, that's where my brain went. But I have had fruity before, and Weller 107 comes to mind.
Okay.
That one, when I it's like a black cherry explosion.
You always get fruit from French oak.
Okay.
So like fruit notes, dark fruit notes, things like that. But with American oak, you're going to get like coconut, vanilla.
Yeah.
So and it's also you can pull more from those guys than you can American oak because of course of the oak itself. So when you're tasting whiskey, like especially with bourbons, because of the mixture of grains in there, if you get a bourbon that's kind of spicy, it means it probably has a heavier rye content.
Yeah.
If you get a bourbon that has a lot of cocoa notes, that's barley. Like when somebody tries a single malt scotch, what do you taste? They go chocolate. I go, no shit, it's a scotch. Single malt scotch, you're going to get nothing but chocolate. But what else do you taste?
Yeah.
So, but if you get a creamy sweet one, means they probably took the rye out and added wheat. Now you have a wheated bourbon. Like Pappy's, Makers, Weller's, Larceny, those are all wheated bourbons.
Toffee. You're so right.
Yeah.
Well, I am getting. I guess I do prefer wheated bourbons. I don't know if that's just from my dad giving me Makers or whatever, but all the ones I have had have been fine.
Yeah. And there's 4 grains out there too.
Yeah. The Penelope is a 4 grain.
Yeah.
I believe.
Like Woodford's Master Collection that they do.
Yeah.
I think they might have been one of the. I don't think they were the first. I think Noah's Mill might have been. But that's not a great whiskey. I'm not a big fan of that. And with your water, do you have a dropper?
Well, this is what I have here.
Oh, there you go.
So, School of Sun water.
All right. So what water is going to do, if you have a really high proof whiskey, I mean, I've had whiskeys in the 50s, and they're fine the way they are.
Yeah.
So I always try the neat first, and then I'll add some water to it.
Okay.
I mentioned earlier about cast strengths. It's like the master distiller says, you're now the master distiller. You decide how much water you want to add.
Yeah.
And what it does, the water, it's going to open the whiskey up, absolutely, and it's going to cut the serpents. Mm-hmm. So if you think the whiskey's too hot, and I've had whiskeys at 45% that were too hot, which means this is probably a no-go for me. We're not going to put this on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I had to add water to it. It's like, okay, this is better with water, but most of our people drink it neat.
Absolutely.
So you're not going to just pour your water in there, okay? Obviously, you're going to take a little bit of water and try it a little bit at a time. There. And then swirl that around. And it's really going to open it up and soften it. I'm a purist. I like things by themselves. Like, get rid of the designated hitter in baseball. If your pitcher throws at my head, I'm throwing it at his head next. No, that's different already.
Yeah. I kind of suspected this one would change a lot with water.
A lot softer. Now I'm getting the candy note as
I'm getting
opposed
spearmint.
to the toffee. Before it was toffee, now it's softer.
You know what spearmint comes from? Rye. That's the rye coming out. So yeah, your spice, spearmint, mint, all that. Yeah.
Now, should this go to the front of the mouth now, or we're finished with the back? That was the first tasting.
No, you always do it all over.
Swish.
Yeah.
Always flush it around.
Different.
And don't add ice.
Never.
No, because ice is temperature is a masking agent. Salt is a masking agent. Glycerin, which Patron is full of, is a masking agent.
Yeah.
So think of it like this: Coors Light. They put those Blue Mountains in the front of the bottle. They are telling you, do not drink this beer. These mountains are bright blue, so you can't taste how shitty it really is.
I don't know what's worse, that or Dylan Mulvaney. Okay, well, this is obviously an example of a fine bourbon that is legitimately fine, not just by perception, but also by price. And I think it's, in most cases, I would say you get what you pay for sometimes.
John, what did you pay for that bottle?
$250.
Don't be embarrassed.
$250.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean specs, and I get the discounts,
Yeah.
whatever. I would blow $250 in a week on some other shit anyway, so it's no big deal. So yeah, you get what you pay for. Now there have been some exceptions to that in my experience anyway. Like for instance, Evan Williams' Bottle and Bond, when that came out, that was very tasty to me, and a few other ones, but not many. What's that Jim Beam one spinoff? Anyway, Old Tub. I like Old Tub.
Okay.
That's a good one for a $12 to $20 bottom shelf.
Now I said,
Yeah.
don't rock, don't overwater.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's nights I'm at the house. I got an easy little bottle of Buffalo Trace. I will pour that on the rocks, fill it with water. I've had it 1,000 times. I don't need to dissect it.
Yeah.
I want flavor, some flavor.
Yeah.
And I just want the little buzz effect.
Yeah, yeah.
So I will do that when I'm just taking it easy.
Well, that's my evenings, pretty much.
Yeah.
I hope my doctor.
my favorite highball.
Hope my doctor doesn't hear that. But I also suspect that there's quite a bit of spirits, and you could pick any one, that are extremely overhyped, perceived by the public as being high quality, priced at that, but in reality are kind of really shit. And Crown Royal comes to mind, but I'm sure there's others.
So you can put me on a soapbox and stuff.
That's why I did it.
I tell people all the time, if it's advertised, don't buy it. Don't let a commercial, a rap star, or some billboard tell you what to buy. I always tell ladies like this. Think of a guy talking to you about himself.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about himself. Like, I look at my car, look how much money I make, look at my job, look at my clothes, yada, yada. He keeps talking about himself because there's something wrong with that cocksucker. There's something not right. So when now you talk about Crown, like I always talk about whiskey trees. So you have this stump, and then it branches off, and that stump says whiskey on it, either with or without the E.
Right.
Now, usually American and Irish are spelled with the E, and everybody is without. Everybody absolutely is without.
Or without the E in whiskey.
Yeah. So makers took the E out because they're paying homage to the Scottish ancestry. George Dickel took it out because they're from Tennessee and they can't spell. So when the tree goes up, it branches off in different areas. We talked about Scotch, talked about American whiskey, and have all the different categories. But nobody talked about this little nasty bush next to the tree. That's Canadian whiskey. Don't confuse Canadian whiskey with Canadian rye whiskey. Canadian rye whiskey is good, and a lot of ryes are sourced from Canada.
Okay.
But Canadian whiskey is it's actually the bare minimums of the requirements to be called a whiskey, and it's mostly fruit wines. They're disgusting. To me, I don't think any true whiskey drinker drinks Canadian whiskey. Now I say that, and Barrel, we picked up a bottle. One of my guys picked up a bottle and did not notice or look at the bottle. Because, it's a new Barrel product. Let me try it. We'll pick it up and have it at the bar. So I'm sitting at the bar. I go, what's new? What do we have? What do we pick up? And he goes, we got this barrel. Let me see it. I looked at it. I go, you dumb fuck. I go, that's Canadian whiskey. And then I said, how much is this? Because I was just going to give it to the staff, just let them shoot or do whatever with.
Yeah.
And they go, it's $80 a pour. I go, hold on a second. So I poured it.
I better try this.
Yeah, I tried it. I go, holy shit, that's actually kind of good. So I had one Canadian whiskey in my life that
Wasn't there one with a moose on the head? Isn't there? I thought there was one that was supposedly their version of Papier. What is this saying?
Look in your eye, started off with one